Alright guys, final part, other videos will be in the description. Alright guys, so at number 10 is Wintersun with Time 1. This is probably the most anticipated album of this year, maybe of the decade, because people have honestly been anticipating this album since their first album came out, which Wintersun, their self-titled album, came out in 2004. When people heard this, they honestly did want more. Well, that's what I heard, at least from people that did listen to this. And with this, I didn't have to wait at all for this album. I got into the band after it. And with this is a very, very solid album. Great release from Wintersun. They originally set out for this to be a double album, but they didn't finish doing final mixing and final mastering on Time 1. I mean Time 2. I'm sorry. So then they just decided to release one album 1 year and then one album in the next year. This is a phenomenal album, but not my favorite album this year. I know this is topping a lot of people's list. So yeah. Alright, so at number 9 is Storm Corrosion with Storm Corrosion. A very solid debut album. With this, Storm Corrosion is a collaborative project, and it features Steven Wilson of Porcupine Tree and Michael Ackerfeld of Opeth, and this album is like one aligning more progressive rock instead of progressive metal. If you guys are fans of Opeth, especially if you really dig, then we're really big fan of Heritage, then you would honestly really like this album. Storm Corrosion, this is a very solid album, great album. This is only 6 tracks and it ranges to be about 40 to 50 minutes long. This is a really great album. Drag Rope's a very great track. The last track, it's in Swedish, but I can't pronounce it, so but that song Steven Wilson does vocals on it, and he's honestly that track is probably my favorite track on the album, hands down. Great album. Alright, so at number 8 we have Fear Factory with the Industrialist. Fear Factory is a very great industrial metal, groove metal band, and with with the Industrialist, this is a very tight, very great album. With this, they have a new drummer, which I forgot his name, and they have a new drummer that replaced Gene Hoglan, and they have a new bassist that replaced Brian Stroud. He was the guitarist of Chimera. He's not in Chimera anymore. But the Industrialist, very great, very solid release by Fear Factory. This is very great. Burton, his vocals has very much improved, his clean vocals and his growls, and with mechanized in this, those two releases are just very great, very awesome, and they were originally like death metal with Concrete and Soul of a New Machine, and they kind of became like group metal as the albums came like from each album. They became less and less death metal. The first track, the Industrialist, is just very awesome. I like in the beginning when they have kind of like a thing, kind of like a sample of people like working like steel mills and stuff like that. It's very awesome. At number 7 we have a comeback album, first released in 6 years, and that is Spawn of Possession with Insurso. Very awesome album. This album, instead of Dennis being the drummer and the vocalist, he just does vocals. They have a new guitarist. He's been in the band since 2009, and that's Christian. He's in Obscura, and he has his own solo project. And he was also formerly Necrophagist, and he brings in when you compare the last album and this album in Insurso, you could hear, honestly, with this album, Christian's like Obscura, like his guitar work. You could hear his guitar work in Obscura in this, because it sounds like an Obscura album to me. It very much sounds like an Obscura album, and the guitar works by Jonas and Christian, great dual guitar work, very awesome. Tracks like Where Angels Go and Where Angels Go, Demons Follow, The Evangelist, Apparition. Those tracks are very, very great, and these tracks seem to be quite longer. There's like tracks that are like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and this is a very, very great techno death metal man. Would recommend this to any techno death metal fan. At number 6, we have Mestis with Basal, Ganglia. Now Mestis is a they are a it's a solo project by Javier Reyes of T.R.A.M and of Animals as Leaders. This is a 5-track affair. This is about 15 minutes long, and with Mestis, this is a very, very great EP. It's a short EP, but it's really, really well worth it. It leaves you wanting more, very, very much. It really leaves you wanting more. Because this is Mestis. This is a debut album, a very, very great debut album, great EP. I would honestly love to see a full-length album come out next year by Mestis. I would really, really love to see that. But he's in 2 other bands, so there might be a new Animals as Leaders album next year or a new T.R.A.M album next year. I don't know about that, but we're just gonna have to see next year. But Mestis, very, very solid album. That's why it's on the number 6 slot. At number 5, we have T.R.A.M, as people might say T.R.A.M, with Lingua, Franca. Now T.R.A.M, they are a jazz fusion band. People might call them progressive metal. I really wouldn't call them metal, but I forgot to say this. But with Mestis, they have Mestis. They have a jazz fusion influences and a Latin, very, very Latin influence. But with T.R.A.M, this has more of a metal jazz. It's really a jazz fusion album, but with some metal influences. They have no Latin influences to them at all. Now T.R.A.M, it stands for Adrian Terraces. That's why the T. He's formerly of the Mars Volta. Javier Reyes, of course, of Mestis and Animals as Leaders. Tostin Abasi of Animals as Leaders, and Eric Moore of Suicidal Tendencies. Very, very great supergroup. Very, very great album. Songs like 7 Ways Till Sunday, Endeavor, Inverted Ballad. Those songs are just very, very great. Inverted Ballad, that's the first track I heard. I was like, whoa, what is this? This is just so awesome. And this is just a very, very great album. Yeah, so T.R.A.M with Lingua Franca. So at number 4, we have Between the Bear to Me with the Parallax 2 Future Sequence. This album is probably the longest album on my list. It runs to be about 72 minutes. And this is a continuation from the Parallax Hypersleep Dialogues. And with the Parallax, I honestly would prefer their EP better, because that EP is it's like a masterpiece in itself. This is a very, very great album. Tracks like Goodbye to Everything, Astral Body, Later Goes to Rest, Bloom, Telos, Melting City, Sonic Flight Parliament. These tracks are just all very, very awesome. This is a very, very good album. If you guys want to see more information on this album, go on my channel and watch my album review, because I'll say more about that. Very, very great album. I'll probably give this like a 9.5 out of 10. Very, very great album. Very, very great album, honestly. Not my favorite album. My favorite album has to be hands down The Great Mysteric, but still, this is a very, very solid, very, very great album. At number 3, we have Chimp's Banner with All Roads Lead Here. Now this is an EP. Also T.R.A.M and Mestis, they are EPs too. Chimp's Banner, this is a very, very great EP. This is 6 tracks, ranging about 24 minutes long. With this and Between the Bear and Me, these go great. Those go great along with each other. Like tracks go along with each other. It seems like one big track, you know. And with the Mobius series, Mobius 1, 2, and 3, my favorite one out of those is part 3, because it really honestly seems like a build up to like to like Mobius 3, and then Mobius 3 sounds like a build up to Cloud City, man. And man, a very great EP, great follow up to At the Dream's Edge. At the Dream's Edge was like damn near perfection. This album is just real awesome. Great progressive metal, great instrumental progressive metal. So at number 2, we have Skyharbor with Blinding White Noise, Illusion, and Chaos. Now, Skyharbor, this is a double album. Well, not really a double album. Illusion is 7 tracks, and Chaos is 10 tracks. Illusion runs to be about 34 minutes, and Chaos is 3 tracks, runs to be about 13 minutes long. Great album. This was originally it was the name Hydrogent. Yeah, Hydrogent. It was the solo project by guitarist Keshav Dar, and this actually has enough Sastry of intervals and Jeff Loomis live. He's a live member for Jeff Loomis on drums, and very great album. This actually features Marty Friedman with guitar solos in some of it, like in some of the songs, like Guitarist, and this actually has Vishal J. Sinks of Amok Symphony, and this the vocals, they have 2 different vocalists on each album. With Illusion, they have Daniel Tompkins, formerly of Tesseract and In Absent Hearts, in Illusion, and in Chaos they have Vishal they have Sunith Ravinkar. I'll probably pronounce that wrong. He was in Chaos. Now a lot of people prefer this over Chaos. I mean, they prefer Illusion over Chaos because of Daniel Tompkins' vocals. Because Tesseract, that band is getting really big, and with Chaos, I really like Chaos. It's not as great as Illusion in my opinion, but they're honestly like neck and neck with each other in my opinion. So I wish I could hear more tracks with Chaos, and then I'll call it a double album. Great album. Honestly, a great debut album in my opinion. Honestly, it's very awesome. At number 1, my album of the year is Allegaeon with Formshifter. Wow, what a great technical death metal album. They have like technical death metal, melodic death metal in them. They're kind of like if like Arsis and Carcass had a baby, then there would come Allegaeon. Allegaeon, great technical, great album. Formshifter, that's like perfection for me. It's a really great album. Oh, not even great. It's very awesome. It's like, it's a big step up from Fragments of Form and Function. This has Greg. He does he's a classically trained guitarist, so he does classical work on 12 Valves for the Legions and Secrets of the Sequence. He does classical guitar on that, and on their last album he did do classical guitar, but he didn't do it as like, he only did it on 1 track, but still, great follow-up album to Fragments of Form and Function. Fragments of Form and Function, I would have to give like a 9.5 out of 10. This it's Formshifter. It's just a really great album. Very solid. Ezra, his vocals has generally very much improved. You could hear Corey's bass a lot more on this album than you could hear on Fragments of Form and Function. Ryan and Greg, great dual guitar work. This is very awesome. They have a session drummer called, his name is JP Andrade. He's a very skilled drummer. And on the last album they had Jordan Belfast. That's my album of the year, Allegaeon with Formshifter. So till my next video, keep it metal and stay tuned to another video.